Welcome to football.
Hold on, I need to. I'm not very good at doing that. Welcome. No, different pitch. Welcome
to
Welcome.
football.
I can't do it either.
No, you did it just.
Did I?
Welcome.
So, as you can probably gather, this is an improvised comedy podcast where we talk about a fictional park, a football-themed theme park in the Qatari desert.
Public service voice.
Well, Anthony's giving me daggers. He's giving me evils from the corner.
Have you seen Mrs. Doubtfire when Robin Williams is watching the TV broadcast of like the man doing a dinosaur show, and even the cameraman's falling asleep?
I know. I don't
that is what goes through my mind when you do talk about fictional comedy podcasts.
I worry about trades descriptions, Anthony. If we are pitching this as we are actually building this with $1 billion, and we're just not. We're going to be arrested and thrown into prison.
We're not going to be arrested. And if anything, what UK politics has taught me is if you tell a mistruth for long enough, it becomes a truth.
You can fool some of the people some of the time. You can fool some of the people all of the time. You can't fool all of the people all of the time.
Right, I'm not saying Qatar haven't given us $1 billion to build a theme park in Qatar, but what if they listened to this and just said, you know what? What a great idea, have $1 billion.
And then my pitch will change. And we have actually got $1 billion to build this.
Of the rides we've got 38 recordings worth of 3 rides. There's over 100 rides now for this theme park.
Also,
we've saved them a ton of time.
Cakes, and you're eating those cakes because in previous introductions that you've given, you are adamant this is real.
Well, it is real, but they'd give us another $1 billion because they accidentally gave us $1 billion, and now they can really give us $1 billion.
Of it.
Firstly, we've never specified what dollar.
It's US dollars, mate. I've checked the bank account and I bought a laptop with US dollars from the US, and the delivery was really expensive.
But you've just thrown that into my face.
This is what he does. You
the other
offer
thing
him
I was going to say was we've never specified. We've done a lot of miniature and we've done a lot of massive.
Can I just point out right now, I hate improv. Have you ever gone to an improv show where you've been like, oh, that was a clever use of my hour?
Yeah, no, I hate improv as well.
Yeah.
Let's sack this off.
Reality's better than fiction.
I did go to a good improv in
Comedy Store Players are excellent
in Chicago.
Yeah, the Chicago players. They're always the players. It's like they think they're in Shakespearean England, don't they? Why are they always the players?
Well, it depends whether it's your story or my story. Because my story is I went to Second City and it was pretty good. I also went to something in Chicago.
They're the masters, aren't they, Second City?
Well, I mean, you both said that improv was rubbish, and I'm just saying that I've seen some good improv. I also went to down the rung a couple to something called the Improv Olympics, which was also in Chicago, which was very, very, very good. Probably the people that couldn't get into Second City, and so they're still...
So they've got like a Oxford Brooks of...
They're maybe like a yo-yo team. They're not the Premier League, but they're kind of almost... They're like Fulham.
And the other guys buy their best players.
Yeah,
and that's why they call them players. Yeah, because they transfer between improv groups.
Exactly. If anybody
anyway, welcome to Football Land, sponsored by Second City.
Let's have a jingle.
Football Land, Football Land, Football Land, Football Land, Football Land.
Mark, you're the chief ride engineer.
Yes, Sir Chief Lord
Chief Ride Engineer.
Chive engineer. I was in charge of chives.
Did you buy your lordship, or is it an inherited one?
Yeah,
it's as real as Anthony's vision of the park is real. So you can't sigh at
mate,
that. This is imaginary world. I'm a lord.
Mark, you got a right idea.
So I was chastised a couple of episodes ago for not being football related enough. This is so football centric that managers will employ this as a training technique. So it's called Shrug It Off.
Yeah,
Shrug It Off. It is a phrase that commentators use. He wasn't able to shrug off the defenders, but that's not what's inspired this. It's been inspired by the actual need for strikers and attacking players to shrug off defenders.
Yeah.
Or defenders to shrug off other defenders at corners.
Yeah,
so
true.
How do you
Midfielders never get a look in, do they?
No.
Midfielders are neither shruggers or shruggies.
Shruggies, it's true. Well, they're usually taking the corners, aren't they?
Yeah, true.
All three of them. Or
three
four
of them at the same time.
Yeah.
Go on.
So how do you develop muscles for shrugging? How do you... I mean, I was sort of rolling my shoulders around in the kitchen and weirdly that produces a neck movement, which kind of, I think you could, if you had wheels, you could probably momentum yourself along just by the neck duck.
I don't know if you've ever noticed, but I've got a rather large back.
Listener, his back is huge.
He's got such a big back.
Well, I've got a long torso and short legs, but my upper back...
It's weird because your chest is tiny.
Yeah. My chest is quite small.
And your belly button's the size of a pancake.
I know, it's mad. But, my back is massive.
Yeah.
And I put it down to sort of carrying sheds when I was a teenager.
Sorry, carrying sheds?
Carrying sheds, yeah. I used to carry...
It was a shed servant.
With people in them?
No.
Full tools?
No. I used to erect sheds.
Did you stand back and admire your erection each time?
Yeah, it was great. At the end of every day, I just looked back proudly at my massive erections. But it's true. And I don't think it's necessary from just...
shrugging.
Carrying sheds. I think it's from shrugging. I am quite unimpressed by lots of things.
Yeah.
And I think by doing that, I've actually developed like these weird kind of odd muscles. I say that I won't show you them now, but later.
Great. Well, the French are good at shrugging.
Yeah.
They've got very, very pronounced muscles.
Is the French football team good at shrugging off defenders?
Well, I think...
I'd like to look at the stats for that, because I suspect
nonchalantly
they
do.
Every half an hour of every training session is them just shouting boof. Boof.
I've got another question.
Oh.
What's your ride?
Oh, yeah. Shrug it off. So, apart from the French and the perennially unimpressed, who is good at shrugging and how do you get good at shrugging?
Yeah.
Well, there are lots of roller coasters, especially in the States, that are not just sit-down things. They are different ways of being thrown around at frightening speeds.
Yeah.
I think you start in the loading bay of this. It's a roller coaster, by the way.
Yeah.
You start in the loading bay as if you are waiting for a corner to come in. You're the striker, and
when you say loading bay,
loading bay of the roller coaster.
Oh, not like a distribution warehouse.
Well, it could be. It could be. Yeah. It's more like the platform that you get on the roller coaster.
Oh, that thing. You're calling that a loading bay.
So you've gone up the stairs. So you're standing with your back to.
To be fair to Mark, I am trying to think of what it's actually called. And I can't really think. The getting on bit.
The entry gantry.
The getting on.
The gantry. Yeah. So I don't know whether the receptacle so it's an overhanging. It's an overhanging
receptacle.
Words.
You mean the bin? We're in the loading bay. Let's come on. It's a biffer.
Words have deserted me. So you're basically suspended from your shoulders for the duration of this roller coaster.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether you fit snugly into it and then the roller coaster starts, or whether it comes screaming up behind you and the first shrug has to be putting it on.
Okay.
Yeah, so like that.
You are harnessed at the shoulders, and the ride will be rubbish if you're not very good at shrugging. Throughout the duration, you are powering the speed and the angle at which you are swung around by
just shrugging. Wow.
So it's a bit like that hand bike in Gladiators.
Yeah.
But with your shoulders.
Yeah. So, I mean, I quite like, rather than fitting snugly and make sure everything's safe, I quite like it just a defender-shaped thing just swooping down on you.
Yeah.
Like Vulture Van Dyke just grips you in his talons and then you're off.
Yeah, that's good.
That's more
good.
corner-esque.
Yeah, and then you're off. And so I also couldn't decide whether, if you're good at shrugging, the ride gets brilliant. But the whole point of learning how to be good at shrugging is to shrug defenders off. We don't want the ride to end because you're good at shrugging, or do we? The only way we could encourage that is if the ride were terrifying and terrible and awful and you want to get off.
Well, I think everyone on a roller coaster wants to go as fast as they possibly can.
Yeah.
So the more shrugging, the better. And it goes at a guaranteed minimum speed throughout of, say, 20 miles an hour. So you're not just stopped, because otherwise you're never getting off.
Yeah,
you need to. So if you go around, like, the worst that you can do if you're rubbish at shrugging is go around pedestrianally around a roller coaster. But if you're amazing, you could go round at amazing angles laterally.
Yes, and get swung
100 miles an hour.
You could maybe, if you're really good at shrugging, you could maybe go off sideways and do a full 360.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe, actually, it goes all at the same speed, because I'm imagining a train of them, of like, if you think about a roller coaster, they're all attached to each other. There's like a car full of like 20 people, right?
Well, each one has to be individual, because otherwise, if you're standing there waiting to be picked up.
Oh, that's true. Oh, very true. But I was going to say that if everyone's going at the same speed, then it's just how good you are at shrugging. You go sort of laterally.
You could start staggered, like
360 degrees.
Anything over a 100 metre race. You're sort of is staggered, so they could, shrug them off, and then you all feed into a bit like a kind of 400 metres where you sort of
400 metre relay where you all go past that bit, and then you can all go on lane one.
It could literally be a race around then. Who finishes first and gets the most thrill out of the ride.
Yeah.
I also like the fact that if you're shorter, you've got to jump higher, and it could go wrong, inverted commas, because this might be amazing if you jump at the point that your receptacle reaches you and you get gripped by the head. Imagine riding a roller coaster
just by
suspended by your head. That could be amazing.
It's a bit like that.
You wouldn't be shrugging, you'd be sort of frowning and
blinking,
looking surprised, blinking as hard as you can.
In the pedal-powered Bell and Cherry car. Overlapping fullbacks.
Yes.
Well, I think either of those.
I mean, if you attempted a bicycle kick at the point of impact, you'd be suspended from your ankles for the duration. I think that would also be amazing.
Yeah.
We should probably have a sign for toupee wearers.
Yeah, very true.
That's not very fair.
No.
They get picked up by the head, and then just as you get out the loading bay, the adhesive comes loose.
That's very
not
true.
nice.
Your toupee's going to have a lovely time.
Yeah.
Imagine having to just like climb back up to the loading bay and just be sort of waiting awkwardly while the kind of everybody else is waiting to get picked up, and you're just waiting for my hair.
Or, if you similarly, if you get attached by your shoes and they're one size too big because that's all they had in the shop and they're good shoes.
Or the kind of defender or striker that jumps and sort of accidentally handballs it into the net.
Just by your wrist.
By your wrists. I mean, I think that would be, you'd get the most amount of centrifugal force.
Yeah. There's not a lot of shrugging going on, though, at this iteration.
That is defeating the point of the game, because I can see Premier League footballers, like managers, clubs installing this in their ground.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think it has real world application.
The only other way of training for this is twerking, and that's not very manly.
Well, this is my question. Shrug It Off is used in so many ways.
Yeah.
It's used in a kind of both literally and the opposite of literally.
Yeah.
Which is the modern use of the word literally.
Exactly.
It means not literally.
But interestingly enough, literally in that way is now literally included in the dictionary.
Yeah.
And it's
literally not true, but it's literally true. Because the word literally doesn't actually mean anything anymore.
No, exactly. So in both of the literal senses and the figurative sense, which is what I meant originally by the opposite of literally, but it had escaped me. The word had escaped me. Shrug it off, it can mean like somebody goes, "Oi, you, big back," and I go, and I'm about to react, and then my friend says, "Shrug it off."
Yeah.
You got that shrugging off.
Yeah.
But also, when you were talking about getting gripped by the wrist, you're still shrugging it off, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're getting free, because it's not like wrist it off or
That's true,
fist it off.
Yeah.
Fist it off or like head it off or brow it off. So I think shrugging it off,
frown it off. Yeah.
I think you can get picked up by any of the
any bit.
Shrug it off.
Because it's going to be difficult, isn't it, to get to time that jump with the swooping in defender.
Yeah.
And I think it shouldn't be that easy.
So it's a roller coaster that you've just basically got to wriggle free from.
Wriggle free. Maybe you've just, when I said there isn't another term for shrug it off, and you said yes, there isn't, and then you immediately contradicted
came up
yourself.
with one.
If it's really good, you don't want to wriggle free of it.
Well, it could be really shit then. It's a terrible,
that's why I said
boring roller
at the
coaster,
beginning,
but it captures you in a vice-like grip.
But that's what I said at the beginning.
It's
but I
painful.
think it's probably better to reward people for doing well. So if you're shrugging, if you're good at wriggling off it, it will give you the best ride possible.
Yeah, but it's still, you've got off it, and that's probably the best.
But you'll get off it with a renewed ability to shrug off people in the real game.
And in a really exciting way, because when you were sort of talking about wriggling before and maybe doing a 360, that's quite exciting. You are eventually going to come free of the vice-like grip, probably into a net. This whole thing needs to be
it's
like
gotta
some
be,
kind of
it's got to be intestine,
right? Yeah, and you're caught in the net.
Yeah.
But that's a hell of a ride, because depending on and it's mixed, you might want to go out again because you might not get as strong a defender or attacker. They're going to have different grip on you, gripping strength. So some might be really easy and you don't get the 360. Some might really get you, and you've got to really
wrestle like a fish on a line.
Yes, that's it.
You're a wet fish on a boat.
Yeah.
So shall we vote on
a boat? Yeah, let's have a vote
on wet fish on a boat. Yeah, whether it gets admitted to Football Land or not. Everyone in favour, say aye after 3. 1, 2, 3. Aye.
Yeah, I can see it, Mark.
I can see it, yeah.
It's a good one. We haven't had that many roller coasters recently, and you've got us a good one.
Great, thank you, yeah. Oh, there goes Ryan with his shed.
Got a ride. I've got a ride idea. It's very short. I'm just going to say
in height or duration?
Well, I think it's going to be quite a short one because it's just a very simple idea. And it's called the Terry Venables Wrecking Ball.
Oh.
Okay.
Now,
please let it be Terry on a wrecking ball.
It is. Yeah, that's basically
Miley
it.
Cyrus.
Yes.
Well, Miley Cyrus inspired me, and I thought, because Terry Venables is actually he's a pop star in his own right, isn't he? We're all going England crazy.
Yeah. I think he had an album.
He had an album of swing music, I think
he's
it was.
the Frank Sinatra of Tottenham.
Basically is. I think it was, Bale was golf, Wales, Real Madrid in that order, and Venables is swing music, consoling Gareth Southgate, and football in that order.
Yeah. Well, sun worshipping as well.
Sun worshipping,
and red wine in hotels.
I propose that all we do is get a massive pole, like a wrecking ball sort of...
Like Lewandowski?
No. 100 foot in the air, okay? 100 foot in the air.
He's not that tall.
Chain on down... Terry Venables, just on the end of the chain, in a giant wrecking ball,
like a perspex wrecking ball.
No, because it's velcro.
Oh,
it's a velcro wrecking ball.
So, but
he's in it. He is in it. You just see his head poking out, maybe his hands poking out. Like he's in a giant sumo wrestling fat suit. Okay, And at 12 o'clock every day at Football Land, 12 o'clock, midday, you've because there's no clocks in Football Land. We haven't done any clocks yet. We haven't got any clocks.
We've got cocks.
Yeah, we've got plenty of cocks, but no clocks.
Clops as well.
Yeah.
Cocks, clops,
but this is like a clock, because if you think of a giant pole in the air, that could actually act as a sundial as well.
Yeah.
So you could tell where the shadow's falling over you.
Yeah. We don't want clocks because we don't want people to know what time it is.
Exactly.
It's football time.
It's football time.
Football time.
But you know what time it is at 12 o'clock. Just like in Mary Poppins when they knew what time it was, like 9 a.m. because that old bloke fired a cannon from her house.
Yeah.
You know what time it is in Football Land at 12 o'clock because Terry Venables will swing through the park as a giant Velcro wrecking ball.
Yeah.
And the reason he's Velcro is because it's a ride. If he smashes into you, he carries you with him.
Wow.
And you have an amazing experience just swinging over Football Land. He can carry like 5 or 6 people. You know, like, when have you ever hugged a very big tree to see how many people you can fit your arms around?
Yeah.
So I'd say Terry Venables' suit is like the width of a 6-person tree.
So how's he going to have his arms poking out the side? Is he like elasto?
They'd have to be his fake hands poking out the side and his fake legs.
Okay.
But because you know how he consoled Gareth Southgate, he hugged him. He can hug you in midair at midday.
Or you can hug him.
Yeah, you can hug him either way. Because he might get you on his back and you'd be spooning him throughout Football Land.
If one of his hands is sort of near your face, it's kind of like a pat on the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of you grabbing onto his leg. And also, if you're not wearing the right clothing, I guess
my question.
Cotton
What
will
bit of,
stick, a woolly jumper will stick.
How many people are going to turn up in guitar with a woolly jumper on?
I was going to say, which bit of Velcro is he? Is he the hook side or is he the felty side?
I'd say he's probably the hook side because there's a lot of people
Not many
wear
people wear
felt.
hooks. Yeah.
People would more wear
if you know
felt.
it's there, you're going to dress accordingly.
Yeah, a bit like when you go to the cricket. You're like, I know it's fancy dress, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Well, there was those rides you could go on as a kid. It wasn't really a ride.
Oh, you could stick yourself to the wall.
Stick yourself to the wall.
Stick yourself to the wall.
And you'd run
The
up,
floor would
and
drop.
there was a trampoline.
Yeah.
And you would kind of jump up and Velcro yourself to the wall.
Absolutely.
And there was like a leaderboard who could get the highest.
And imagine Terry Venables singing "We're All Going In" at 12 o'clock every day, just swinging through the park and just taking anyone he wants.
Yeah.
And it's, because he's going to go at quite a speed because we get him at 90-degree angle from the top. So the only trouble is he's going to smash into like rides and... But that's why it's in a giant suit.
Also,
he's just going to bounce off it, isn't he?
If he's up there from launch and then he's going to swing right through, if he achieves even 180 degrees, he's going to be in the flight path of the Park G
Sung Park.
car park. He's going to smash into
ride.
some bored dads in cars.
Yeah. That's what a wrecking ball does, though.
Yeah. Well,
if he smashes into a ride, if he smashes into a concession stand, we get great column inches.
Yeah.
Terry Venables
And
smashed
he
something
won't
else
be
again.
harmed. The punters will, but I mean, frankly, if you're in football land, you pays your money, you take your chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Terry Venables is still going to be singing, even if he's in the middle of a wrecked up car covered in Pepe shit.
The only thing I will say about Velcro,
Yeah.
for all the claims of its strength, it gets less stronger over time.
It gets bits bobbles on it, doesn't
it? Gets bobbly. It gets a bit like it picks up detritus. The hooks do. So we're going to need to have somebody come around with like a rake and sort of
rake Venables down.
Rake Venables down, so he's got maximum stickiness.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that obviously the other end, if unless you've recently debobbled your wool jumper before you came to Qatar because you wanted to look the best, sort of your best. There is a danger that as you go up, you get collected by Venables. Imagine your mom, she's just turned round to go like, was it strawberry or vanilla? And Venables comes in and I'm going England crazy. She's not heard it. She has no idea what's going on. She gets no football references and is having a terrible time. She gets scooped up by Venables, thrust up into the air, and she's not debobbled a jumper because she was too busy vacuuming before you left because she wants the house to be clean before
the hotel.
No, usually at home. Mums do loads of mad stuff, don't they?
Before they go on holiday.
Before they go on holiday. It's just nuts. It's just like, get a grip, you're on holiday mode. So, but she's not debobbled the jumper, and it's...
Oh, she's gone. She's been
catapulted
like
100 feet from the
catapulted into Doha.
Yeah, well, not even Doha, because Doha would be fine, I guess, because there's a hospital where they can fix all her bones. But she's just flung into the desert, where we don't know where, unless she's got some kind of GPS emergency
She
tracking
comes
system.
back like Paris, Texas, like when does this film where he's just in the desert?
Yeah, I mean, she's going to be, mums are usually, well SPF'd, but so she won't get sunburn.
No.
But
she'll have very sensible footwear.
Yeah, I don't know. It might tip us over the edge. We might get a negative feedback on her
TripAdvisor.
On TripAdvisor.
I just think,
the rest of the family had a lovely time. However, and then that litany.
Mums have bounce back ability, though, don't
also,
they?
Ryan, how else do we tell the time at Football Land?
There's no other way of telling the time.
That is true.
Maybe he's a wrecking ball at 12 midday, but he's El-Tel wrecking bell at 9 p.m.
Oh, he just headbutts a bell.
So he is dressed as a giant bell and he dingle dangles through on the same mechanism. So he's a giant
also
bell.
Velcro.
It's
Velcro
after
bell.
it's 9 p.m. It's just the fireworks actually. So there's not going to be as many people to Velcro up. So I think it's just a giant cast iron
So
bell.
you'd be well pissed off if you were looking at the fireworks and then you got carted off by El-Tel.
Just Get smacked in the head.
El Beltel.
Yeah.
I think this is a lovely idea. If I knew this was going to happen, I would wear my most Velcro-iest suit and I would face that ball.
Yeah.
So just
you don't know where it's going to come. It's not on a set flight path like a wrecking ball. It can go
But it must
anywhere.
come from a platform. And does Eltel have to climb up that platform?
We've got the Urigella helicopter, so you could just...
get airlifted up.
It'd be like anywhere.
So it's possible that if Uri Geller gets it wrong, he's picking up Eltel, the helicopter's pulling him away from the pole.
Also,
the pole could be
But he can't sue Uri Geller because he's in it.
Well, that's why I'm worried, because Uri Geller don't give no fucks if he pulls out the entire pole and just drops Eltel.
But I guess what the good thing is if this is at 12 o'clock...
Yeah.
It's a bit like in war films. They always wanted to get the kind of the plane to come out the sun. You can't see where Tell is because he's coming out the sun.
Well, you can hear him though singing his England songs.
He's coming out the sun, so you're looking up, you're hearing, I'm going, and you're looking. It's that bit when you were young and your dad heard a plane and he'd rush outside to look at it, and then where is it? And you can't see it, and you're like, it's just a plane. Like there's loads of planes downtown. So it's not a new thing.
There's 4 a minute, Dad.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus. So maybe it's instead of coming from like a 90-degree angle, we pull it right vertically.
Wow.
Or almost vertically,
Right.
maybe 1 degree off because it needs a bit of swinging.
Because then it's just going to bounce into the ground.
Yeah.
Well, no, because the chain, it's not a bungee cord, is it?
Well, it's just going to stay then.
Oh, no, but it might go down. It's not going to hit the ground. It would come vertically down and then it would whiplash. Whoosh. Calm down. It would whiplash in a direction, and we don't know what that direction is.
Yeah, well, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
And so it's coming out the sun. You can't see it. And then that way you've not got fans, because that's annoying when you get fans. You guys got really enthusiastic there, and I like your enthusiasm.
Yeah.
But you're the really annoying type of people, the enthusiasts that would turn up to Football Land in a Velcro prepared suit. Where's Tel?
I'm sorry for enjoying the park that we're creating.
But it should be random.
Yeah,
It should be. I know what you're saying. And I agree with the randomness, but there's something beautiful about Eltel swinging smoothly in and taking you with him.
And if that happens by chance, even the more beautiful.
But it won't happen by chance if it's a violent drop like you're proposing. That would be very random, but it'd be quite violent.
But it would be.
It lacks the beauty, the majesty of swooping in.
But I think if you look at a pendulum, what was that? What was the bat and ball game that was on a sort of a weird pole and
swing
a
ball.
spring? Swing ball. Yes. Yeah. That it's in the name.
Maybe we could get a couple of giants to play swing ball with Eltel.
Oh, that would be good. I like
like giants are a thing.
Giants are a thing. Yeah. On like the 6 o'clock news on Radio 4, then baked into the intro are the Big Ben bongs. So it's like, today, this is the news at 6 o'clock. Bong.
Yeah.
So-and-so died. Bong.
So did this so-and-so.
Bong. That
Someone
would be
else
great
died.
if in Qatar their radio news at 12 o'clock is, this is the news at 12 o'clock. Everyone's going. Somebody died. England guys. Rail strikes and England. So you just hear the thuds.
And someone's mum going, what the bloody hell's going on?
I've gone into the desert. Lorry strikes and HGV drivers.
You noticed how they only report on really brief, like easy to explain news.
Yeah,
that they can fit between those bongs.
It's
There's
never
a really complicated situation developing in Yemen. It's like, you can't
all go in England crazy.
All right,
Humanitarian crisis. Anyway, Colin.
Yeah, I think it's probably time to bring it
Cool.
to a vote.
Okay, let's have a vote on the Terry Venables wrecking ball. Say aye. 3, 2, 1.
Aye. Lovely.
Iconic. Thank you.
Yeah.
Iconic.
Just what is it that you want to do? We want to go football land, and we want to have a good time.
Okay, sometimes I don't do this and sometimes I do, but this is definitely one where I am going to do it.
Right.
I'm going to say the name of the ride up front.
Okay.
Because I could just say the name and you might just vote it in and we just kind of...
I promise we won't.
I might.
Yeah, are you ready? I'm calling this ride Emmanuel Frimpong's Ping Pong Ding Dong.
I'm
It's
in.
in.
I'm in.
I thought you might.
I love
Table
that.
tennis with Emmanuel Frimpong.
If there was a chart for best title, I think that would win it.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better title of anything in the park.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely going to fuck this up, aren't I? It's only downhill from here. For those of you who don't know, Emmanuel Frimpong was a sort of former Arsenal starlet and the oft sayer of the word dench.
Tribute to Judy.
He
Dame
said
Judy.
dench, yes, and we might do a full circle on this and come back to Dame Judy. Emmanuel Frimpong liked saying the word dench so much.
Yeah.
I mean, he said it all the time. And it was weird. He showed a lot of promise, even though if you look, he played very few games.
Yeah.
He was probably more media friendly, very active on the socials and the early, that sort of type of thing. Did a music video with his cousin. I think it was Lethal Bizzle.
Yeah.
Then he was a footballer. So it's difficult. And so he said the word dench and he got into everyone's brain because nobody really knew what the word dench was. He might have had one eye on becoming the new Rio Ferdinand with the old Merc and thought, if I can get a word in. Well, as his career's sort of gone down a touch, he's gone into leagues where I guess they don't give a shit what you put on your shirt. He actually had the word dench on the back of his shirt.
Wow. When he was at UFA or?
It was at UFA or Ural or one of a Russian club.
Yep.
And it was in Russian, so it was him and it was only him that actually knew what it meant because there was a bunch of Russians that weren't up to speed with his kind of early YouTube kind of social media days. Now, this is a game ride / experience. So, you know that weird kind of football tennis that they play on those curved table tennis tables? You've seen them, they head it and they volley it. It's sort of like... So I'm thinking it's probably on one of those, but instead of footballs, I'm going to reverse the twist. It's ping pong balls.
Right.
Okay.
Which obviously would be very hard with your sort of head and football, particularly for non-footballing punters that have come to Football Land. So I'm going to let them choose a bat. Any bat.
Wow.
There's a selection of bats. Table tennis bats, maybe a live bat, a baseball bat, all the bats. Maybe David Batty. All of the bats. And you basically choose your bat of choice. And you can choose 2.
Okay.
And we'll put them on your body anywhere.
Yeah.
Apart from your hands.
David Batty on your body?
We'll find a way of mounting him on you. It might be just a simple like piggyback.
Yeah.
Note to self, find a way of mounting David Batty.
Yeah, on another human, potentially smaller and older than David Batty.
Okay.
So stage 1 is ping pong.
Okay.
It's the Emmanuel Frimpong's ping pong ding dong. Stage 1, ping pong.
Right.
So you have a game of ping pong with your 2 bats of choice.
Yeah.
Now, you might rock up and, Sheila has gone for baseball bat.
Yeah.
And she's sort of like, I don't know, she's mounted it on a coccyx. And you're like, oh, God, that's going to be... She's going to... she's got no way she's going to beat me at ping pong.
Right.
Because you've chose a table tennis bat and you've mounted it to your elbow.
Okay.
Or your head. You've gone David Batty on your back and you've gone table tennis bat on your...
On your elbow.
So you play a regular game of table tennis. I say regular. It's not. It's highly irregular, but we're up to...
Is it still on a curved table?
Why not?
Right.
Can do.
Yeah.
Makes no difference.
No, okay. Well, you're not going to hit it.
You're not going to... It's going to be very difficult.
0-0.
It's first to 21.
Well,
It's just going to go with
does it
serve,
have to
isn't
be
it?
a curved table?
No.
Because if it's flat, then you could actually play it. But if it's curved, then the ping pong's just going to come back at you.
Yeah.
No, it's not that curved. It's not a hump.
Well, the ones
It's not
they
like
use,
Underhill,
the ones-
Barnett's ground.
the ones they use for football head tennis, they are quite humped.
Well, okay, either way, you do some tests in the garage.
Yeah.
Here comes stage 2.
Yeah.
What's the ride called?
For Ding Dong.
It's the ding dong bit. Emmanuel Frimpong's ping pong ding dong. No, it's a fight.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you are not laughing at Sheila's choice of baseball bat.
It's on a coccyx. So it's going to spin around like a whirling dervish.
Like a whirling dervish.
Right.
She's going to whip it round, right? And it's
You go, sorry.
a fight to the death.
It's a fight to,
To
the
the
death.
death.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, or not to the death. Maybe it's like MMA. You can tap out.
Right. Oh,
Near
and then
death.
you lose.
and you lose.
Because I guess MMA is a fight to the death, but you've got to tap out.
Exactly. It's as close as possible, right? So
Do they tap out in the Roman times?
I doubt it. But life was more extendable, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Although, actually, I think that's slightly overplayed. Some of those gladiators were celebrities, and so they wouldn't let them die.
Yeah, they didn't let them die, yeah.
So you've got Emmanuel Frimpong's Ping Pong Ding Dong. You played ping pong.
Then you have a fight.
John's won.
Yeah.
Ding Dong. Sheila's won.
You killed John.
Well, he's tapped out.
He's tapped out. Yeah, just tap out. I think in the queue,
because
there should be a sign saying, for the love of God, tap out, because this is to the death.
He's wishing that he'd mounted David Batty on his front.
Yeah.
So Batty was
that
taking
Batty
all the blows.
And punch back.
And punch back.
Yeah.
And
wouldn't you watch this in the queue and be like, everyone's putting David Batty on their front, I'm going to go with that. You'd soon get the right... Because David Batty could hold a bat.
I don't think you can see the arena from the queue. Because
it's going to seriously disrupt numbers if you can.
So essentially, I know what you're thinking. What if, John wins the first round and Sheila wins the second round? It's a draw.
Yeah.
Well, it's football. Things end in a draw.
They do.
Right?
They do.
They do. So I think quite often...
It's quite it's like a test match cricket draw where a team gets 33 runs for 9 on the last day, but they salvage a draw. Basically, if you win a game of table tennis, then you die. I mean, that is a pretty test match draw, isn't it?
One's shit hot at table tennis, the other is nearly dead. We'll call it a draw.
Yeah, exactly.
And you've touched on this really interesting point, which is, so you have draws in football, but there's always a winner. There's always somebody that actually won the game.
Yeah,
they didn't win, but they played better. They should have won, etc., etc.
Yeah,
expected goals.
Yeah, I think that's an aspect of it. I think there's like a notion of a winner, and that's enough. Or maybe they both go away thinking they were winners because one has won table tennis and the other one survived a near-death experience.
Yeah.
But if you actually win, then the prize is that Emmanuel Frimpong will visit your house at any time of your choosing for a photo opportunity. And he'll say, Dench.
Oh, that's lovely.
That is great.
Is lovely.
Who wouldn't want that?
Yeah. So if you beat someone at table tennis, then you kill them. The prize is for Emmanuel Frimpong to come round your house and spout a hashtag in your face.
Well, did we ever find out what Dench meant?
Good.
I think it means good.
And what's the etymology of that then? Where did that come from?
It comes from the Aramaic, I think.
Probably hench to Dench.
Did he just misspell hench?
He probably misspoke hench one day and tried to and styled it out in a really tedious way, and so everybody else just gave up and went, "Yes, Emmanuel, Dench is better than hench." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I think it's
right.
probably yeah. Okay. All those in favour of the greatest named ride in football land, or potentially in football land, Emmanuel Frimpong's Ping Pong Ding Dong, say aye after 3. 3, 2, 1.
Aye. Congratulations, Ryan.
Dench.
That is Dench, that is.
Totally Dench.
Ride, isn't it?
I'm going to football land, to football land, to football land. I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. It's not built yet.
And there we go. That's it.
Whoa.
Oh, finished. Is that it?
That
Finished.
is, yes,
Finished.
the end of
Finished.
another episode.
Indeed.
Right. Send us all of your ride ideas, everyone.
Send us your jingles.
Send us your jingles. Rate us. Tell your friends. That's
Review
all
us.
we need you to do.
Send us your love.
And we'll see you next time
Send us your kidneys.
on Football.
We love you.